If you've been playing Dragonflight for a while, you have probably heard of this thing called embellishments. You probably even heard that your spec has a best in slot or abyss embellishment that you absolutely need, or else you're gonna be doing 0 damage. And we don't want that, do we? So, what are embellishments? Embellishments are special effects that crafted items can have. In Dragonflight, Blizzard overhauled how the professions and crafting system works, and so that people have a reason to engage with the system, Blizzard made some of the craftable items have powerful and unique effects. These effects can heal you, empower your allies, or even persist your food buff through death. Now that's convenient. How do you know what embellishment you might want? I would recommend consulting your class and spec guide. Both Wowhead and Icy Veins have very detailed explanations which embellishments you need, if any, and which have higher priority over others. They might also be talking about which crafted items without embellishments you might need, but we'll cover that later. Once you know what you want, now you just need to gather the materials and craft it. Most of the required materials can be bought on the auction house, except for one, the Spark of Dreams. You get half a spark every week, meaning you get a full spark every 2 weeks. It worked like this for the previous seasons as well. Spark of Dreams is just the current one. Before we had the Spark of Ingenuity and Spark of Shadowflame. Don't worry about getting the wrong sparks, you can only acquire the most current one. You get 2 from completing a quest in the Emerald Dream. And don't worry about starting out late. As a catch-up mechanic, the sparks can drop from raid and M+ bosses, so you should catch up fairly quickly. Once you have all the required materials, you're ready to craft your first item, but you most likely can't craft it yourself. Even if you have the right profession, you might not know the recipe or have progressed far enough to be able to craft the desired item. That's where employing other people comes in. In WoW, we do it through a system called work orders. There are 3 types of work orders. A public order, meaning any crafter with the right profession can see it when visiting their crafting station. It can be a guild order, meaning of course that your guildmates can see it, and a personal order, which you make to a specific character. For guild orders, each guild has their own style of doing things, so there is probably a guide on your guild's Discord or website, and if there isn't, just ask how you should go about doing it. Guild orders will probably cost you the least, but they require you being in a guild, and that guild having a player that has a profession leveled enough to where he can craft your item at the desired quality. How much you should tip is also guild specific, but usually it will be very low. The next best option is a personal order. You can usually get these by whispering people who are selling their services in the trade chat, or by you advertising that you want an order done and how much you are willing to tip. Keep in mind, the bigger the tip, the faster the response time. Once you have come to an agreement with the crafter, just fill out the order with the character name and agreed upon price. Also, don't forget to set the quality. It's also usually nice to whisper the crafter that you made the order so they know. For tipping, I don't know what specific number to give you. I usually went with 5k and got a lot of responses basically instantly. Going down either of these routes, eventually the order will be completed and the item will be sent to you via mail. I didn't mention public orders because no one seriously uses them. They might work, but honestly I haven't given them much of a shot. Okay, but before you actually make the order, you might have noticed that the item level is actually pretty low. What gives? You can think of the spark as setting the minimum item level an item can have. The eye level can then further be increased by an optional reagent and by the quality. We briefly mentioned quality before, and this late in the expansion, don't even bother with crafters that can't guarantee tier 5 quality. This will give you the highest item level. After that, you can further increase the item level with enchanted dreaming crests, either a worms or an aspects. This item can only be crafted by an enchanter, so if you aren't one, you'll have to engage with the crafting order system again. Both of the items need dreaming crests, but don't worry if you don't have them yet, you can always recraft an item later once you have the materials. Okay, so we know how to craft the item, and we know how to increase the item level, but I didn't mention embellishments at all back there. Embellishments, as mentioned earlier, add a unique property to an item. The item itself can already possess an embellishment, i.e. Spore Cloak, or the embellishment can be added as an optional reagent. You'll just need the correct item, and again, you can always add it later with recrafting if you don't have the money for it yet. I've mentioned recrafting twice now. What's that about? Recrafting is a process where you can craft your item again, but this time change some of the reagents. This might be a spark if you're just upgrading your item from season to season. It could be a new dreaming crest or an upgraded one. It can be an embellishment or any other optional crafting reagent. You will have to once again provide the base crafting materials, but you don't have to provide any of the sparks or optional reagents that are already present on the item, so don't be afraid to recraft liberally. We've mostly covered everything now, so here are just some quick notes at the end. You can only have 2 embellishments, so keep that in mind when picking which items to craft. You can use missives, which will make the crafted item have a specific set of secondary stats. Which stats are best for you are probably written in your guide, or even better, you can sim yourself to figure out which stats are best. Just recraft them later if anything changes. Don't look at crafted items just as a way to get embellishments. They can also fill out some slots that are lagging behind in item level, and with being able to target specific stats, it's like guaranteeing a perfect drop. You are now equipped with the knowledge to figure out which items you need, how to get them, and how to modify them so they fit your character just right. Engaging with a complex system like this is always scary at first. It was for me when I first tried it. I encourage you to dip your toe in, give it a shot, and you'll see that it's not that bad or that complicated. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and find it useful. If you have any suggestions, you can leave them in the comments. If you like this video, consider liking it. If you like my content, consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.